This week on Sport Fishing, we're heading out local fishing along the kelp beds aboard the Clemente, a sport boat that operates daily out of Dana Wharf Sport Fishing. We're going to be fishing the kelp beds, looking for calico bass, barracuda. You never know what to expect. So stay tuned for this week's exciting episode of Sport Fishing. Got another bass going here in the kelp. I'm Dan Hernandez and I live to fish. That's a nice vermilion right there. Yeah, this is what fishing's like. I have been fishing along the Pacific coast my entire life. Let me bring you in the action and share with you some great fishing tips along the way. Hang on, don't push me back. This one on the boat, right?
Alright, nice calico, bud.
Perfect. Hook's head right there, man.
Right on the lip. Right on. That pointed out that way.
Perfect.
Alright, nice job, Mary.
Calico. Hey. Perfect.
One in the skirt. That one's in the skirt.
Bass should keep a bass.
Is that beaver?
No, bass should keep a
Oh, yeah.
Circle hook. I love my circle hooks.
Off of our port side quite a bit.
They do. Fish on
So,
here.
watch your lines real quick, Hank.
Not quite, huh? Okay.
Good work.
There you go. Let him go.
Hi, my name is Mike Shad. Welcome to the Cabrillo Marine Aquarium. Here at the aquarium, I'm standing in front of our kelp tank, which is an aquarium that shows you the kind of fish you find in a kelp forest right here off Southern California. One of the fish that everybody really identifies with is called a kelp bass or a calico bass. I think one of the reasons people like it is because it's beautiful. It blends in with the environment so readily. Calico bass, kelp bass are very common in our local kelp forests. They really are kind of an iconic kelp forest inhabitant.
Have a limit.
See all the bass in the kelp.
Yeah, he's a little on the short side, but
Almost there.
There it is. Got another bass going here in the kelp.
Changing those baits, gang.
There it comes. Nice color of this fish. Nice calico. Just flipping a bucktail right in the kelp here. It's a beautiful color fish. You can tell this fish has been in the kelp a long time, gold color to it. And again, all I'm fishing is just a little bucktail jig like this. Just a beautiful little bait with a little strip of squid on there, and it's working really good. Well, let's take a little break from the action here aboard the Clemente and go to the tackle box and give you a good look at the gear we're using for today's fishing. This week in the tackle box, I want to talk to you a little bit about what we're doing today. You know, we're fishing over at the island, looking for calico bass, never know what to expect, maybe an exotic or two. But because we're targeting the calicos and we have live squid for bait, I really like to fish with a bucktail. And this is a bucktail right here. And they work really good. The big advantage with using a bucktail is I know exactly where my bait is at all time. If it's laying on the bottom, I know that's where my bait is. And as I wind the lure up a little bit, I'm picking that lure up off the bottom, working it. I know exactly where it is. I know that sounds a little weird, you know, why does it matter? But it's really important. If you're fishing with a sliding sinker, maybe your sinker's all the way in the bottom, but your bait could be anywhere from 5 feet to 20 feet off the bottom. You don't know where it is. With the bucktail, as that bait is falling to the bottom, I know that there's lots of slack out there, and as that lure's falling, fish picks it up. I know exactly where it is, and I can set the hook, and I get an idea of the depth that the fish are hanging out in. I can target that depth over and over. If it's right on the bottom, off the bottom 10, 20 feet, or up on the surface, I'll get a good idea by the way this bucktail falls. Now, it's really important when you're fishing in these kelpy areas that you have your bucktail take a long time to fall down. Having that live squid on there will help with that. It's going to take longer for it to go down, but what really helps a lot is the size of bucktail you use. This is a 1/2 ounce model. This is a 6 ounce model. This is going to fall a lot faster than that, but if I can get away, if I can cast far enough with a 1/2 ounce model, that's what I'm going to use. I'm not really necessarily worried about the size of the hook because this is a much smaller. I just want to get that bucktail in there a couple of times and let that bait take its time and flutter down. If I have lots of current or if I have a lot longer cast to make, then I'm going to move up. I'm going to go to a 2 ounce or a 1 ounce. Sometimes I even have to use a 6 ounce bucktail if we just have screaming current. That's the only way I can get down there. And I know it looks like a big bait, and it is, but to a 5 pound or 8 pound calico bass, this just looks like a little French fry. They're going to eat that whole squid behind it and this at the same time, and they work out really good. Again, I really like the bucktails because I know exactly where my bait is at all times. And the one tip I would tell you is use the lightest bucktail that you can get away with, that you can cast comfortably, get it by the kelp, and let it slowly flutter down. And you'll be successful using these baits with the live squid or even the fresh dead. Works really good. Well, let's get back on the water and show you more exciting action right here on Sport Fishing. See what I got. Calico. Here we go. Little calico. Not quite legal. Last year this would have been legal. Today's a little short. Well, this is what we're going to keep doing today. We're out here on the Clemente, fishing really close to kelp here, right along the beach. When you drive from LA to San Diego, you see all that kelp off Camp Pendleton. That's where we're fishing right now. Catching fish like this, using all these live anchovies, cut squid. It's working out really good. All right, well, stay tuned. We'll be right back with more action aboard the Clemente. I'll let this guy go. Ooh, another sand bass.
Another sand bass.
Last year that would have been legal. I don't know about this year.
Absolutely. Last year for sure. They got to be 14 inches. Here, let's go over here. So right here. There's 12 inches. That was on a legal one last year. There's 14 inches. That's what they gotta be. Got another inch.
Good job, babe. Good job.
Back down, Earl.
Back up. That's fine, Zion.
Keeper?
No, he's a little short. We're gonna let him get a little bigger. Nice job, though.
Okay, thank you.
Do you know how old gray whales can live to be? Is it 10 to 20 years, 25 to 35 years, or 40 to 60 years? That's right, it's 40 to 60 years.
Nice calico.
There we go, got another one going. Let's see what I got here, probably another calico. Oh, he's in the kelp now. When you get in the kelp like this, what you want to do is keep pressure on it. Okay, here's Jim. That's his fish. You got that one on a bucktail. I got one going here on a bucktail. Here comes mine, sand bass. There's the sand bass. There's a legal sand bass.
Nice
And here's Jim's calico. And they're both caught on a bucktail.
Bucktail.
That's the sand bass I just caught. We're gonna take a little break from the action here aboard the Clemente and go to the galley and show you how to cook up one of these delicious fish that we're catching today. This week in the galley, we're in Anaheim, California at Each Street. Standing next to me is Katie Avrio, and she's the owner-operator here. And what is it you have for us? I mean, you're a chef too, I'm sorry.
No, I am. We're going to be making salmon and papillote today. It's a French preparation of very fresh, healthy fish. That's pretty simple. Seems like gourmet, but it's very simple.
All right, cool. Well, how do we get started?
Ready? Okay, so you're gonna take your salmon and you're gonna take about 6 ounces, which looks like this. You're gonna need a half piece of parchment, fold it in half. And the whole thing with salmon and papillote, it means salmon and paper. So we're going to make a pouch out of paper. Your salmon's gonna go right here. Then you're gonna do about a tablespoon of olive oil.
Right on top of the paper like
Over
that?
the top, yep. And then orange segments, very particular. The proper way to cut an orange is to cut the ends off and then go around, around, around. A lot of times you will see people cut straight through and you get a lot of the white pith, which is not necessarily what you want. You are going to go around, around, around. And then, even if you're bartending, the proper way to do oranges is go between. So when you pull the segment out, there's no white parts. So for this, we only need about 3 or 4 segments. Anything you put in your papillote, today we're doing very French because that's classic, is gonna get infused. The flavor's gonna get infused in there. So the first thing we're going to do is citrus, which is orange. The next thing we're going to do is fennel. This is also called anise. In a different preparation, we might use this as the herb, but for today, we're going to use the bulb, where you're gonna cut off the ends, very similar to the orange, and you're just gonna use very thin slices of it. So you're gonna go in a flat place like this, and against your knuckle, you're gonna go thin, thin, thin. Anise is typically a very licorice-y flavor. Even if you don't like licorice, it's kind of a subtle licorice. So you're going to layer that on. The next thing you're going to do is basil, where you roll it up and make strings, and that also will get infused into your salmon. You're gonna put a little bit of salt, sprinkle pepper. Last but not least, you're going to put about a tablespoon of white wine. You're gonna take your parchment, and the faster, the better on this. You're just gonna go around, 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 around. And onto your half sheet of parchment like this. If you're cooking pork or beef or chicken, you can really go by temperature or the way the meat feels. With salmon, not so much, especially when it's in a pouch. You have to go by time. So your oven should be at 425. You're gonna put it in there for 12 minutes. This is something where it doesn't matter if you go a little bit under, because as you know, some people like their salmon a little bit raw in the middle. So I go by time on this. And one telltale sign, you know it's done, you can actually see through the paper that it's boiling, the liquids in there. Your white wine, your olive oil will be boiling. After 12 minutes, you're going to take it out, cut it open with a knife down the center. The best way to do it is in front of whoever is eating it. The steam comes out and all the beautiful flavors, your basil, your orange, your fennel, come shining through.
Well, I have to take a bite of this. That is really good. And the steaming just kind of adds to the moisture of it and keeps it moist.
Anything that's in the pouch goes into the fish.
That's awesome, Katie. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Dan. Thank
and
you.
Katie Eat Street is located in Anaheim, California. And thank you very much. This is great. Well, let's get back on the water and show you more exciting action right here on Sport Fishing. Bunch of nice fish. This is Manny, he's got nice fish. There's a sand bass back here Bobby's got. There's my little tiny calico. This one has to go back. That one's probably legal. Nice. Beautiful. There you go. All right, Victor.
With a small anchovy, fly line with a quarter-ounce sinker, and just let it sink, and it'll just pick it up and run. All right.
Be down, dude. I got a little bass going here. Cher's got a bass going here. I think hers is going to be a lot bigger. Now we're basket weaving. There's my fish. A little short, not quite legal. And it's one of those things where last year this fish would have been legal. This year, it's another fish that we let go. There's plenty of fish here that we can see them swimming all over the place.
There you are.
This is the one, huh?
Yeah. Okay. Oh no. On the bottom. Baby berry. Yeah, it felt like
The same fish I caught a minute ago. You know who I am?
It's a lure called a magic metal.
Nice sandbag.
There we go. Do a magic metal light out there on these breaking fish. Got a barracuda. Looks like a legal fish. There he is. Legal berry on the jig. There you go. Nice fish. All right, we're gonna take a little break from the action. When we return, I'll be giving you this week's tip of the week on the magic metal light. For this week's tip of the week, I want to talk to you a little bit about what we did today to catch all these fish. And most of the fish today were taking on live anchovies. We had a good selection of bait, little tiny baits for chumming and bigger baits to put on the hooks and cast them out. Fish right in that kelp, water was warm, current was great, the water was in great condition, lots of fish in the water. We just had to weed through all the small fish to get those legals. That's this week's tip. When you're fishing with live bait, make sure you have a good lively bait on and you'll catch those fish. I want to thank the crew of the Clemente and all the anglers that joined us today. We had a great time fishing here today. I'm Dan Hernandez, hoping you enjoyed this week's episode of Sport Fishing, and I hope you join us again next week as we go looking for more of the best in sport fishing.